Have you ever wondered why speaking English feels so much harder than reading or listening? You can understand everything on the page or in a conversation, but the moment you need to respond, the words seem to disappear. Why does this happen? And more importantly, how can you break free from it? In this episode, we're going to uncover the hidden reasons behind this struggle and reveal powerful strategies that most learners overlook. By the end, you'll see speaking English in a completely new way, one that makes fluency feel possible, exciting, and within your reach. When you first start your English journey, everything seems possible. You read articles, you watch movies, and you listen to podcasts, and often you understand far more than you expect. You feel proud of yourself because comprehension is growing. But then something surprising happens. The moment you need to open your mouth and actually speak, your confidence disappears. Your mind goes blank. The words you thought you knew suddenly hide somewhere deep inside your memory. Why is it that understanding feels so natural, but speaking feels like climbing a mountain with heavy stones in your backpack? This struggle is not only yours, it is one of the most common challenges faced by millions of learners around the world. There are several reasons why speaking feels so much harder than reading or listening, and each of them creates invisible walls between you and fluency. The first and biggest reason is fear of mistakes. Many learners believe that mistakes are dangerous, embarrassing, or signs of failure. The fear of saying something wrong, of using the wrong tense, or of sounding strange with an accent is strong enough to freeze your tongue. Instead of practicing, you stay silent. And when you stay silent, improvement becomes impossible. The irony is clear. In trying to avoid mistakes, you actually create the biggest mistake, missing the opportunity to practice. Another reason is the lack of speaking opportunities. If you live in a country where English is not spoken daily, chances to use your voice are rare. You might read English every day online, but your mouth doesn't get the same workout. Just like muscles in the gym, your speaking ability weakens if you don't train it. Without mouth time, the physical habit of forming English sounds, you can't build the fluency you want. There is also the challenge of sounding natural. Even if you know vocabulary and grammar, the words often come out one by one, slowly, without rhythm or melody. Conversations feel robotic, and this makes you feel awkward. Imagine trying to dance without music. Your steps may be correct, but without rhythm, the dance feels lifeless. Speaking English works the same way. Without practice, intonation and flow don't appear, and you feel disconnected from your listeners. And then comes the issue of hesitation. You might understand a question perfectly, but when it's your turn to answer, your brain takes too long to search for the right word. That pause feels endless. You lose your chance to respond naturally, and with each hesitation, your confidence drops further. Finally, all of these difficulties combine into one heavy obstacle: lack of confidence. When you don't believe you can speak well, you avoid speaking. When you avoid speaking, you don't improve. This cycle repeats again and again until you feel trapped. But here's the secret. Every small word you manage to say, every imperfect conversation you try, is a brick that builds your confidence. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about being brave enough to keep going. So if you feel nervous, stuck, or afraid, remember this truth. You are not alone, and these problems can be solved. The first step to breaking free is to understand exactly why speaking feels so difficult. And once you see the reasons clearly, you can begin to use smart strategies to overcome them, transforming English from a mountain into a path you can actually enjoy climbing. Now that you understand why speaking English feels so hard, it's time to look at the real solution. The good news is that speaking doesn't have to feel like a constant battle. With the right mindset and the right approach, you can transform every moment of practice into a step toward fluency. Remember this: confidence is not something you are born with, it is something you build through daily actions. And the foundation of that confidence comes from a few powerful principles. The first principle is simple but life-changing: embrace mistakes. Instead of treating mistakes as proof of weakness, start to see them as proof of effort. Every time you say the wrong word or use the wrong tense, your brain is sending you a clear signal. This is the exact area you need to focus on. Mistakes are not dead ends. They are road signs pointing you toward improvement. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. They fall many times, but every fall teaches them balance. Without those mistakes, they could never ride. Your English is the same. The more mistakes you allow yourself to make, the faster you will grow. The second principle is to focus on clarity, not perfection. Too many learners waste energy trying to sound exactly like a native speaker. They worry about their accent, every little grammar error, or whether they are 100% correct. But the truth is, what really matters in communication is clarity. Your listeners want to understand your message, not to grade your accent. In fact, your unique way of speaking is a reflection of your identity, and that is something to be proud of. So, instead of chasing perfection, chase clarity. Speak clearly, speak with intention, and let your ideas shine through. The third principle is consistency beats intensity. Speaking once a month for 2 hours will not give you fluency, but speaking 10 minutes every single day will. Just like training in the gym, small, regular workouts are what make your muscles strong. In the same way, short, daily speaking practice is what builds your fluency muscles. Over time, these small habits add up to massive results. The fourth principle is to train for fluency first, accuracy later. When you are in the middle of a conversation, your goal is to keep talking. Don't stop to fix every grammar mistake or search for the perfect word. Just keep the flow. It is always better to say something imperfect than to say nothing at all. After the conversation, you can reflect, review, and refine. This way, you stay confident while still improving your accuracy step by step. Finally, the fifth principle is to use your voice in real situations. Reading and listening are important, but speaking is a physical skill. Your mouth, tongue, and brain need practice together. Treat speaking like playing a musical instrument. Theory is important, but practice is what makes music. Find opportunities to speak, even if it's just to yourself, to your phone, or to a language partner online. Every word you say out loud is training your voice for the future. These principles, embracing mistakes, focusing on clarity, practicing consistently, prioritizing fluency, and speaking actively, are the keys to unlocking your confidence. They are not abstract ideas. They are practical habits you can start today. When you build your practice on these foundations, the mountain of speaking English will no longer feel impossible. Principles are powerful, but principles alone are not enough. To truly change the way you speak English, you need strategies, practical methods you can use every day. Think of the principles from the last section as the foundation of your house. Now let's build the walls, the windows, and the doors. These strategies will give you the structure to practice speaking in a way that feels natural, enjoyable, and sustainable. The first strategy is to find real opportunities for conversation. Language is not learned in isolation. It grows in interaction. If you don't live in an English-speaking country, don't worry. Technology has made it easier than ever to connect. Use language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk, where you can connect with people worldwide. Offer to teach them your language in exchange for English. Join online conversation clubs, many of which are free or low cost, where learners and sometimes native speakers gather to practice. If you're in a larger city, check platforms like Meetup for English-speaking groups. Every conversation, no matter how short, gives you the priceless experience of thinking on your feet and responding in real time. The second strategy is to practice role-playing in scenarios. Ask yourself, what situations am I most likely to face in English? Ordering food, a job interview, small talk with a stranger, talking about your hobbies? Once you identify these situations, practice them like an actor rehearsing lines. Write down useful phrases, repeat them aloud, and even act out the whole dialogue in front of a mirror. The more you rehearse, the more natural you will feel when the real moment comes. By the time you face the actual situation, it will feel familiar instead of scary. The third strategy is to use conversational connectors and fillers. Many learners sound robotic because they speak only in short, direct sentences. But native speakers often use little words and phrases like, you know, I mean, well, actually, so, or right. These are not just random noises. They make speech flow smoothly, and they buy you time to think. Instead of leaving an awkward silence, You can use a small filler, which makes you sound more fluent and confident. The trick is balance. Use them naturally, but don't overuse them. A few well-placed connectors can transform your speaking style. The fourth strategy is to record yourself regularly. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is one of the fastest ways to improve. When you listen back to your own voice, you'll notice patterns you weren't aware of, words you repeat too often, places where you pause too long, or sentences that sound unnatural. Over time, you will also hear your progress, which is incredibly motivating. The fifth strategy is to focus on fluency during practice and refine accuracy later. This connects directly to the principle we discussed earlier. When speaking, don't stop yourself every time you make a small grammar mistake. Keep the words flowing. Afterwards, you can reflect on what you said, identify mistakes, and practice corrections. This approach keeps your confidence alive while still ensuring you improve your accuracy step by step. Together, these strategies, seeking conversations, role-playing, using connectors, recording yourself, and focusing on fluency, bring the principles of confident speaking into daily action. They turn abstract ideas into practical habits, and when you use them consistently, speaking English will no longer feel like a test you might fail. It will feel like a natural skill you own, ready to use anytime, anywhere. Even with smart principles and powerful strategies, there will be days when speaking English feels frustrating. You may feel tired, embarrassed, or even question whether you are improving at all. This is completely normal. Every learner, no matter how talented, experiences ups and downs on the journey to fluency. What separates successful speakers from those who give up is not talent, but mindset. If you can manage your thoughts, you can continue moving forward, even on the hardest days. The first mindset shift is to see mistakes as friends, not enemies. Think about it. When you make a mistake, it doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you are actively practicing and pushing your limits. Each mistake is like a teacher pointing you toward the next lesson. If you can embrace this perspective, every conversation, even the bad ones, becomes valuable. Instead of thinking, I failed, you can think, I learned something new today. This small mental change can keep you motivated when progress feels slow. The second mindset is to be patient and kind to yourself. Learning to speak a language is not a sprint, it's a marathon. There will be moments of quick improvement and moments of plateau. If you expect perfection too quickly, you'll only create unnecessary stress. Instead, remind yourself that every word you say is part of the journey. Celebrate the courage it takes to speak at all, because using another language is never easy. Give yourself permission to stumble, to feel frustrated, and even to take breaks when you need them. True growth comes from consistency, not from punishing yourself. The third mindset is to recognize that consistency is your superpower. You don't need hours of practice every day to make progress. Just 10 to 15 minutes of focused speaking each day is enough to create real change. Small, daily habits train your brain and mouth far better than long, exhausting study sessions once in a while. Think of it like watering a plant. A little water every day keeps it alive and growing. If you wait too long and then pour a bucket, it won't have the same effect. The fourth mindset is to seek encouragement, not just correction. Of course, feedback is important, but constant correction can sometimes make you feel discouraged. That's why you should first look for supportive partners, friends, teachers, or language partners who encourage you. Positive energy fuels your confidence. Then, when you're ready, you can ask for specific corrections. This way, feedback becomes a tool for growth, not a source of fear. Finally, the most powerful mindset is to remember how far you've already come. Too often, learners only focus on what they can't do yet. But if you look back at where you started, you'll see incredible progress. Maybe you used to struggle with a simple sentence, and now you can talk for minutes. Maybe you once avoided speaking, and now you try regularly. These are victories worth celebrating. By recognizing your progress, you keep your motivation alive. In short, building the right mindset is about embracing mistakes, being patient, practicing consistently, seeking encouragement, and celebrating your growth. These mental habits protect you from discouragement and keep you moving forward. With this mindset, Every challenge becomes just another step toward having the right mindset keeps you strong. But to truly stay motivated, you also need direction. Without a clear destination, practice can feel endless and confusing. This is where setting goals and tracking your progress becomes essential. Think of it as giving yourself a map and a compass on your journey to fluency. You may still face obstacles, but at least you'll always know where you're headed and how far you've already come. The first step is to set clear, achievable goals. Saying, "I want to speak English fluently" is inspiring, but it's too vague to guide your daily actions. Instead, break your dream into small, specific targets. For example, this week, I will practice describing my morning routine out loud for 5 minutes every day. Or, by the end of the month, I want to have a 10-minute conversation with my language partner without freezing. These goals are realistic, measurable, and time-bound, which makes them easier to accomplish. Each time you reach one, you'll feel a burst of motivation to keep going. The second step is to track your progress. Progress in language learning is often invisible day by day, but it becomes obvious when you record it. Start a speaking journal where you write down what you practiced, how long you spoke, and any new phrases you used. Even more powerful is recording your voice regularly. Save your recordings with dates and listen back after a few weeks or months. You'll hear your growth in pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. This proof is priceless. It shows you that your hard work is truly paying off. The third step is to celebrate small wins. Too often, learners only celebrate when they reach big goals, like passing a test or having a long conversation. But in reality, every tiny success matters. Did you complete a full sentence without stopping? Celebrate it. Did you try speaking to a stranger even for 1 minute? Celebrate it. Did you understand a fast response in conversation and reply naturally? That's a victory. These small wins are like stepping stones across a river. Each one brings you closer to the other side. By recognizing them, you build momentum and joy in your practice. The fourth step is to reward yourself. Rewards don't have to be big or expensive. They just need to feel meaningful. Maybe it's enjoying your favorite snack after completing a week of practice, or watching a movie in English guilt-free because you earned it. Rewards send a message to your brain. Practice is not punishment. It's something positive. Over time, this keeps you coming back with energy and enthusiasm. Finally, remember that language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. By setting clear goals, tracking your progress, and celebrating each milestone, you transform the journey from something overwhelming into something exciting. Instead of waiting years to feel proud, you can feel proud today, tomorrow, and every step forward. In the end, fluency is not just about the words you speak. It's about the progress you make and the confidence you build along the way. With goals to guide you, progress to inspire you, and celebration